especially if his real appointment, interview, date, whatever, walked in and saw him sitting here with me. But I know you, Clay. I started at the sound of my name, spoken by him with a mixture of familiarity and strange interest. I studied him more closely, the squareness of his jaw, the smoothness of his cheek, his utter self-possession. Had I met him before? No, I was certain I hadn't. One of Assad's nephews arrived with a chicken sandwich and 2 cups of coffee. Please, the stranger motioned to a vinyl-covered chair. Bewildered, I sat. You work down the street at Brooks and Hanover, he said when the younger man had gone. He seated himself adjacent to me, his chair angled toward mine. He crossed his legs, plucked invisible lint off the fine wool of his trousers. You're an editor. Several thoughts went through my head in that moment, none of them savory. First, that this was some finance or insurance rep who, just like the pile of loan offers on my counter at home, was trying to capitalize on my recent divorce. Or that this was some aggressive literary agent trying to play suave. Most likely, though, he was a writer. Every editor has stories to tell. Zealous writers pushing manuscripts on them during their kids' softball games, passing sheaves of italicized print across pews at church, or trying to pick them up in bars, casually mentioning between lubricated flirtations that they dabble in writing and just happen to have a manuscript in the car. I had lost count of the dry cleaners, dental hygienists, and plumbers who, upon hearing what I did for a living, had felt compelled to gift me with their short stories and children's books, their novels in progress and rhyming poetry. Look, whoever you are, Lucian. I meant to tell him that I was sure we didn't publish whatever it was he wanted me to read, that there were industry-accepted ways to get his work to us if we did, that he could visit the website and check out the guidelines. I also meant to get up and walk away, to look for Assad or his nephew and put an order in, to go. But I didn't say or do any of these things because what he said next stopped me cold. I know you're searching, Clay. Looking for light in these shortened days. You have that seasonal disease, that modern ailment, don't you? Sad, they call it. But it isn't the disorder. You should know that. It isn't even your divorce. That's not what's bothering you. Not really. I was no longer hungry. I pushed away the chicken sandwich he had ordered and said with quiet warning, I don't know who you are, but this isn't funny. He went on as though he hadn't heard me, saying with what seemed great feeling, It's that you don't know what it's all for. The long hours, working on the weekends, the belief that you'll eventually get caught up, and on that ultimate day, something will happen. That everything will make sense, or you'll at least have the time to figure it out. You're a good man, Clay. But what has that won you? You're alone, growing no younger, drifting toward some unknown but inevitable end in this life. And where is the meaning in that? I sat very still. I felt exposed, laid open, as though I had emptied my mind onto the table like the contents of a pocket. I couldn't meet his gaze. Nearby, a couple, both of their heads dripping dirty blonde dreadlocks, mulled over menus as the woman dandled an infant on her lap. Beyond them, a thick-set woman paged through People, and a young man in scrubs plodded in a sleep-deprived daze through an anemic salad. Had any of them noticed my uncanny situation, the strange hijacking taking place here? But they were mired in their menus, distractions, and stupor. At the back counter, a student thumbed the screen of his phone, sending messages into the ether. I realize how this feels, and I apologize. Lucian folded long fingers together on his knee. His nails were smooth and neatly manicured. He wore an expensive-looking watch, the second hand of which seemed to hesitate before hiccuping on, as though time had somehow slowed in the sallow light of the diner. I could have done this differently, but I don't think I would have had